The North American International Auto Show, a.k.a. the Detroit Auto Show, in full swing in the Motor City, but the auto industry itself may be approaching a yellow light. Cox Automotive chief economist Jonathan Smoke showed up and warned journalists, talk about the skunk at the picnic, journalists in Detroit, and he said that the automotive sector is going to cause the next recession, not the housing sector. Yay, aren't we glad we invited him? But listen, is it true? I mean, if you look at what's been happening, it's on the heels of Elon Musk announcing 7% of Tesla's workforce would be laid off as the electric car maker seeks to increase Model 3 production, but also cut prices to move the cars off the lot. And that's 3,150 workers losing their jobs at Tesla. But it was the third American automaker in 4 weeks to announce cuts following General Motors and Ford. So where is the auto industry in 2019? We bring in Tim Higgins, tech and autos reporter for the Wall Street Journal, and Ed Kim, VP of Industry Analysis at AutoPacific. Ed, I want to begin with you. Is this what you're seeing, the same as what the Cox Automotive guys are seeing?
Well, I don't know that I'm necessarily ready to say that the auto sector is going to cause the next recession. But what I can definitely say is that auto sales are absolutely going to be on the decline from here on out. 2018 was a very, very good year by any standard, 17.3 million units. But we're expecting about 16.8, 16.9 million sales in 2019. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that that actually have nothing to do with the economy. Economy aside, we were already predicting reduced auto sales for a variety of reasons. Everything from pent-up demand from the last recession already being filled, to rising interest rates, to the fact that new vehicle prices have been continuing to climb, meaning that people are upside down on their loans longer because they're taking out longer and longer auto loans, which means if they're upside down longer, they can't replace their they can't replace their vehicles as often as they could in the past. So for all those reasons, we're definitely looking at a decline in auto volumes for the foreseeable future.
Tim, these are multiple issues, and they are almost in certain cases specific to each company. General Motors said it just can't sell some of its sedans anymore. Tesla, of course, has completely different issues that probably don't surprise a lot of people because they've had to figure out as they go along, being the youngest auto company around in the big group. And then, of course, Fiat Chrysler has its specific issues. The CEO, may he rest in peace, Sergio Marchionne, died, and they're dealing with that situation. But put them all together, and does this equal recession in your eyes?
Well, there's a commonality here. These automotive executives are looking ahead and saying, we see some dark clouds on the horizon. You look at China, sales there declining for the first time in a generation last year. You look at the U.S., we just talked about some challenges there. And then you look at this other thing, the electric car. China pushing global automakers to really invest heavily there. That means they have to spend a lot of money on this new technology. Plus, there's concerns about companies like Uber and autonomous vehicles ahead. So they're having to spend a lot on the future, while at the same time the present is very unclear to them.
Ed, sedan sales have collapsed, right? I mean, you can't force people to buy cars they don't want to buy, that aren't cool or don't quite work. That's not the problem at Tesla. That Model S is certainly hot, but they have their other issues. I'm trying to get the sense of peeling away the onion layers and figuring out if there's a common thread with all of these problems, at least with these disparate companies.
Well, in the case of Tesla, these layoffs really don't surprise me in the sense that, of course, Model 3 had a fantastic year last year, exceeding everyone's expectations. However, a lot of that was due to pent-up demand for that car, since that car had been announced years earlier. But on top of that, Tesla doesn't exist in a vacuum, not for long anyways. Within the next year or two, there are multiple legacy luxury auto brands that are coming out with their own luxury EVs that are going to compete directly with all of Tesla's products. So a volume reduction in sales volumes for Tesla, I think, is a given. And Tesla needs to prepare for that. The common thread between that and Ford and GM is I think all three are proactively, I guess it's hard to say proactive when we're talking about cutting jobs and people losing their jobs, but all three are proactively looking towards the future and really trying to strategically figure out what they need to do now in order to ensure that they're healthy in the future in this future automotive sales downturn.
And then you've got low gas prices, which make people want to buy SUVs, et cetera. Tim, before we go, I need to know from you the situation that you found at the Wall Street Journal regarding Carlos Ghosn, who is still in jail weeks and weeks after he was arrested. And, he hasn't been proven guilty. This is unbelievable to me. And the newest news is that Carlos Ghosn is offering to pay for his own ankle bracelet, pay for security guards to keep him from traveling, just so he can get out of jail pre-trial. How much longer does this become a drama over at Nissan?
Well, it's going to be a drama for some time going on here. These things, the Japanese legal system, much different than here in the U.S., and we're, getting a peek at that. And it's something we don't normally pay attention to. Normally, what happens is an executive will go in and plead guilty and then get out. Here, Carlos Ghosn making it very clear he feels he's innocent and wants to push forward on that defense.